At Chimney Rock, in southwest Colorado, ancestral Pueblo people built multi-storied structures on a high, narrow ridge with a striking view to the northeast between two rock pinnacles. The narrow sightline is too far north for sunrise, but the moon will rise between the stones in its northern extreme position during a 2-year period around the major lunar standstill. Triggering dating links building dates with the lunar standstill cycles 1,000 years ago, suggesting that moonrise at Chimney Rock was an important ancient event. In order to prepare for the major lunar standstill season of 2024 and 2025, we formed a collaboration between Fisk Planetarium at the University of Colorado, Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles, the San Juan National Forest, and advisors from the 26 tribes and pueblos who have cultural and historical connections to Chimney Rock. We prioritize access to viewing the moonrises by tribal members, but have also held several public events at the Chimney Rock Visitor Center and broadcast the moonrise live from the Upper Mesa. If you're in Colorado this fall, we invite you to come and join us on September 13th or 14th or October 11th for our final events of the standstill season. You can also view the moonrise live via Griffith Observatory's website. In the meantime, I hope you'll enjoy a short film produced by our collaboration about the moon in Chimney Rock.
Keshi. Hello, I am Cordelia Hui. I am a Zuni tribal member and also the Lieutenant Governor for the Pueblo of Zuni, also known as the Zuni tribe, which is located in northwest New Mexico. I am Corn Clan and a child of the Parrot Clan. As Ashiwi, Zuni people, we have a deep connection to Chimney Rock. It was a settlement of Puebloan peoples. These were my ancestors. Chimney Rock is a part of my identity as a Shiwi, a Zuni person. Chimney Rock National Monument is located in southwest Colorado in the southern Rocky Mountains. It's a varied terrain with pine forests, deep river valleys, and desert grasslands, and it's home to mule deer, wild turkey, peregrine falcons, and other wildlife. One of the most prominent landscape features is a narrow rocky ridge far above the river valley floor. These iconic rock formations began their building process about 100 million years ago in a vast and shallow sea. They are the thickest and hardest portions of an ancient beachfront, and so resisted weather, water, and glacial erosion more than the surrounding rock. The Upper Mesa at Chimney Rock held an important Native American settlement with ancestral Puebloan people living there between 925 and 1125 AD. Along with their settlements in the river valleys and nearby hills and mesas, they built multi-storied buildings and ritual spaces on the top of the high ridge, a significant effort for this difficult-to-access place far above the valley floor. The Chimney Rock area holds deep spiritual significance for the 26 modern Pueblo and tribal communities that have cultural and traditional ties to the region. Today, descendants of the ancestral Puebloans return to this important place of cultural continuity for ceremonial and traditional purposes.
Behind me is Chimney Rock. It's a very significant place that goes back in time immemorial, when our ancestral people, from the time of emergence and migrations, they had their migratory routes, seeking their own times of destiny. And that's how we continue to relate to our Aboriginal ancestral, places that we now consider as a broader cultural landscape point of understanding.
The dramatic horizon at Chimney Rock naturally draws our attention, particularly to the northeast, to the gap between the pinnacles that can be seen from the very top of the ridge. The view guides our eyes to the intersection of earth and sky, where the cycles of the sun, moon, and stars have long played an important role.
I think that the old people, since they didn't have any meteorologists, or they didn't have Channel 7 to depend on to deliver the weather. They had to become very familiar with their areas, and the alignment of the planets and stars plays a lot into how we plant. Since here in this part of the country, we have a 5-month growing season.
There are a lot of high monuments and marks within these top mountainous areas where you can use those for alignments, especially in the night sky. When you see the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper, the Seven Sisters, there's certain constellations within our society that is very, very significant and detrimental in making sure that we follow that same cycle.
The sun's yearly cycle controls the seasons and can be tracked by watching the position of sunrise or sunset on the horizon. Over the course of the year, the sun's rising position swings through a fixed range of locations, with the most northern position at the June solstice and the southernmost position in December. This pattern was known and celebrated throughout history and around the world. This knowledge is expressed in many ways, including marking special locations and directions for observing the sky.
I have different sites that I use as markers for that. Some along this mesa that you see behind me, some along the western ridge on the other side. I use as my markers for when to plant.
Could Chimney Rock function as a solar observing place? The view to the pinnacles is to the northeast from the ancient structures at Chimney Rock, suggesting that the summer solstice sun in its most northern position might be visible between the rocks. Both ancient and current sun-watching practices emphasize this important sun position. However, the gap is just a little bit too far to the north for the sun to be seen to ever rise between the pinnacles as seen from the narrow ridge. So are there other celestial objects that might be seen rising between the pinnacles? While the sun never reaches this position, the moon can. The sun and moon travel along paths throughout the sky that are very similar, but not exactly the same. The moon's orbit is tilted about 5 degrees relative to the apparent path of the sun. This is why eclipses don't happen every month. The moon passes just above or below the sun most of the time. In this simulation, we divide the sky into north and south with a blue line and mark the sun's path in yellow and the moon in green. You can see the sun's north limit on the right and its southern limit on the left. Now let's look at the moon when it's near this northern limit. Can you see that the moon's orbital tilt lets it lie a little north of the sun? This is exactly what we're looking for. But the moon's orbit rolls backwards very slowly in time because of gravitational tugs from the Earth and the sun. During this cycle, the moon's northernmost position drops down to a minimum at a time we call the minor lunar standstill. After that, it rises again to its high northern position for the time we call the major lunar standstill. This entire cycle takes about 18.6 years. When the moon is near its most northern position at the major lunar standstill, it can be seen to rise in the gap between the rocks at Chimney Rock. These spectacular moonrises repeat each month at different phases for a period of about 2 years. Then the moon moves south again and will not be seen in the gap for another 18 years. Chimney Rock was likely a place where people watched and celebrated the motions of the moon.
It's pretty amazing how they knew all that way back when, before all the modern technology you have today. So they're the ones that really started all this. They used the lunar and the solar solstice on how they got to see different things and how they did the calendars. And
our ancestors and current day, we still utilize the lunar cycle. And this is part of how the teachings were and are currently. The star systems are named, and we practice those as well, place names, as well as on the earth place names. It all ties us together as far as how the structure of the cultural calendar is created. And that's how we're tied into the landscape, we're tied into our ancestors in that shape and form.
The major lunar standstill happens for only a short period of time every 18 years, but Chimney Rock remains an important place, a reminder of ancient connections between earth and sky, past and future. I think now, today, it's especially important for our young people, and we keep saying when we visit sites, we need to get our young people up here. They need to know that this is a part of their identity. And we're kind of losing our language, so that's one of the things that we want to do, is to bring them up to sites like this, so they know that it's still living, our culture's still living, our language is still living, our culture's still living, and these are the places that they're living in. Our ancestors were here physically, but they're here spiritually, and that's what I see when I come up